Welcome back to The Current on the Course. Yesterday, we sat down with Josh Jepson, CFO of Deere & Company.
Now, he spoke about Deere's extension as title sponsor through the year 2030, but the community connection goes so much further than just the name of the tournament, and that's why we are joined by Mara Downing, Deere's Vice President for Global Brand and Communications. Mara, thank you so much for joining us again. Before we get into the serious questions that we have for you, I want to talk about yesterday. You played in the Pro-Am, is that right?
I did. I had so much fun. We had a great time out there. It was a little warm. We had early morning tea time, though, so that was good.
Yeah. And how did you do? Because I think you did pretty well.
You know what? I'm thrilled to say we were 15 under, so top 5 finish.
There you
I
go.
think 18 under 1, so it'll keep me coming back for next year anyway.
Very nice.
Well, Mara, we know that John Deere and this tournament means so much to this community here. Can you talk about the connection from your point of view between this tournament and the QCA?
You know, it's 1 week that makes me so proud to be a John Deere employee and a Quad citizen. And you think about all the people that come out to support this fabulous event, from the volunteers, over 2,000 volunteers from this community. And proud to say that John Deere employees represent about 25% of those volunteers. And so everybody shows up in a meaningful way. You know, last year we actually won Most Engaged Community from, it's an award the PGA Tour awards every year. And it's just one of those things that we're so proud of in terms of how our community shows up and supports this incredible event.
You guys have always tried to make this event, especially in recent years, bigger, better. Concerts on the Course, a great example of that. Can you talk a little bit about the impact that's had on the tournament and the community?
Well, it's been incredible. You know, we wanted to do something because not everybody plays golf. You know, it's and so it's a niche sport, and so we wanted to make sure that the whole community knew that they were welcome, and we wanted folks out at the course. And so the concerts have brought in the broader community base, and I would say we're attracting people as far away as St. Louis and Chicago. And people are saying, hey, I'm not just going to come for a day, but I might stay the whole weekend, which is fabulous. That's exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah, the economic impact goes so much further than just this weekend. But if you could look into the future, you think about adding concerts 3 years ago. What else do you envision adding and growing this as the years go on?
Oh my goodness. Every year we actually start brainstorming immediately after the event ends of what are we going to do next year? How can we make this even more special? And, you know, one thing I'm really proud of this year is the field that we've been able to attract. And I think the concerts have something to do with that, you know, with all the people who come to the tournament and show up and support and just the fan base. Players have said to us, there are more fans here than at some of the elevated events, which really makes us proud. And so we're just going to continue to build on that success and continue to look for ways to bring in new and exciting acts and strengthen our field.
So just personally, I'm just dying to know if you could have any musical act come next year, who are you bringing in?
Oh my goodness, that's a tough one. So there are 3 that are at the top of my list, and I know 2 are real long shots. And so Taylor Swift would be amazing, right? If we could have Taylor Swift, that would be incredible. I would also love Chris Stapleton. I think that he would be a great ad. And I think Old Dominion has a fun vibe. So
You know what? Well, Dirk Bentley played at the Vibrant, and now he's coming out here.
Yes.
And Old Dominion also played at the Vibrant recently, so maybe it's a pattern.
That would be great. Yes.
That would be perfect, actually.
Yes.
Let's talk about just the brand in general, its connection to golf. How does that connection work, and how does that really spread even beyond this community and internationally even?
You know, our partnership with the PGA Tour has really been incredible. We signed our agreement over 25 years ago now, and we were just getting started in the golf business at that point in time, and it was primarily a domestic business. And now outside the U.S., we've continued to grow and expand in our golf and utility equipment business, and the partnership with the PGA Tour, it's been great. We've grown together as they've expanded their global presence as well.
Well, Mara, this has nothing to do with golf, but you personally, you have a really cool family connection to John Deere. Can you talk about that?
So I'm a proud third-generation John Deere employee. My grandfather worked for the company, and so did my father. And then specific to the tournament, because I think it does carry over, my father's been volunteering for 28 years. He's 87 years old. And he gets excited. He's here at 6 o'clock every morning to volunteer. It's incredible. So that's a lot of fun. And my sister was the tournament chair, the volunteer chair, a couple of years ago. So really neat family connections throughout the event and of course, to the company.
And speaking of families, you get a front row seat to how this gets pulled off. Not just the volunteers, but everything that happens in the year preceding. Mm-hmm. It is the signature event of the Quad Cities. How proud are you, and what do you see that maybe we don't see that happens to make this happen?
Well, as John Deere employees, we are so proud to put this on. And like I said, the planning begins immediately after the event ends. We're already planning for the next year. But it's one of those things where employees are eager to be a part of it and want to know, how can I get involved and how can I support the event? And so, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Deere personally has 3 waves of customers who come in for the event. And so there's a lot of work coordinating all of those logistics and details, because it's a global customer base coming here. In fact, throughout the week, we have around 2,000, 2,500 guests, suppliers, customers who come to support the event and attend the John Deere Classic.
And to learn a little bit about the company as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a great opportunity for our brand to be on full display and for people to learn more about our manufacturing operations and just who we are as a company and what our brand stands for.
Amazing. Mara, thank you so much for your time. We know you're very busy out here. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.